For over 1,000 years, Kyoto has been the capital of Japan. 500 kilometers to the east is Mount Fuji. Beyond that is Edo, the current center of power. In the heart of Edo, surrounded by a waterway, is Edo Castle, which will be the imperial palace in Tokyo. Next to the castle is an area where many samurai once lived. The title Sundai refers to the homeland of Tokugawa Ieyasu, the first Edo shogun, and this land was given to his direct vassals. Mount Fuji can be seen from this hill, a reminder of the common homeland of the shogun and the vassals. On the left is a samurai dressed in kamishimo, a formal outfit worn on public occasions. He is likely on his way to work at the castle today. He is accompanied by 2 attendants and a porter. When a senior samurai goes out, he always takes an attendant with him. Next to him may be an itinerant peddler, shielding his face from the sun with a fan. He wears shin guards called kahin, which are worn separately from the socks. These guards protect the legs from grass and debris on long journeys. They are also said to prevent blood congestion and relieve leg fatigue by keeping the lower limbs taut, like compression socks. He may be on a long journey. A pilgrim dressed in white walks nearby. Although major routes such as the Tōkaidō were well developed during the Edo period, many roads remained unpaved. A walking cane is essential for traveling. This cane has a decoration on the top, perhaps belonging to a Buddhist sect. On the right, a farmer or street vendor carries a balance bar, probably delivering freshly harvested vegetables to samurai households. This scene captures the intersection of commoners and samurai society, offering a glimpse into the diverse daily life of Edo. The painting shows Edo townspeople enjoying the snowy landscape from a tea house with a magnificent view. Notably, this is the only work in the series that shows a snowy landscape. A typo in the title has been noted. While the printed character means for a while, it is speculated that the intended character was, meaning early morning. It seems that refined people, eager to experience the snowfall, have gathered promptly at the scenic tea house. The shop is busier than expected, with maids rushing to carry trays of food to the guests. The city of Edo stretches out before the viewer, blanketed in snow, with Mount Fuji towering beyond. The typically lively city is momentarily transformed into a serene winter scene. The place depicted is believed to be the Ushi Tenjin Kitano Shrine. According to the Edo Meisho Zue, the shrine was located on a small hill, with a cliff to the west offering a view of Mount Fuji. Tea houses lined the cliff, probably attracting townspeople who wanted to enjoy the snowy scene. It has also been suggested that Hokusai may have lived in the area, and the atmosphere he experienced here may have found its way into this work. This scene takes place in the same location as today's Harajuku. Contrary to its current image as a fashionable center for young people, during the Edo period this whole area was farmland through which the Shibuya River flowed. A woman rinses vegetables with water from the wheel. Another woman comes to wash clothes, while a child plays with a turtle nearby. Behind them, men are carrying grain, suggesting that the mill is used for grinding flour. The structure of the water mill in this work is particularly interesting. It appears to be an undershot water wheel, with water flowing underneath the wheel to power its rotation. In the painting, however, the water is shown falling from above, as in an overshot water wheel. Hokusai had documented various types of water wheels in his early works and may have understood how they worked. This deliberate departure from reality suggests that Hokusai prioritized artistic expression over technical accuracy, adding an imaginative twist to the composition. History of Japan's water wheel. According to the Nihon Shoki, a water wheel with a grinding mill was introduced to Japan in 610 by a Goguryeo monk. The next oldest known water wheel was likely located in Uji, Kyoto. Based on documents, it is thought that they were shaped like a Noria-type water wheel. This design used the power of flowing water to turn the wheel, which lifted cups of water to supply irrigation systems. In 829, the government may have promoted the use of it to improve agricultural productivity. Yodo Castle Water Wheel. It is said that there were once 2 famous water wheels at Yodo Castle. They were built in the 1590s. At that time, the castle was the home of Yodo no Kata, a concubine of Toyotomi Hideyoshi, and had 2 water wheels. Always depicted in illustrations with a Ferris wheel-like structure, the exact function of these wheels remains uncertain. However, given the location of Yodo Castle on the Uji River, it's plausible that they used a mechanism similar to the Noria types used around Uji. Hokusai's watermill. The watermill depicted in Hokusai's Ukiyo-e was a pestle that worked day and night, automating important tasks such as threshing and grinding. This type of watermill is also depicted in the Shui Miyako Meisho Zue, published in 1787. This large water wheel moved several pestles and converted their motion into the rotation of a large sieve by means of gears. It seems to have been common throughout Japan in the 19th century, when Hokusai was active. Trending treadmill. In 1672, merchants in Osaka are said to have invented a human-powered water wheel, the Fumiguruma. It became a hugely successful product and spread throughout Japan over the next 100 years. This innovation reflects the unique environment of the Edo period, where new technologies came from the private sector, not just from the government. This new invention was referred to as a treadmill, a strange ancestor for today's treadmill. The treadmill's design made it portable and easy to install wherever it was needed. Since rice was the staple food and currency of the day, rice paddies were ubiquitous. The treadmill's efficient design made it popular. In Japanese museums, we can often find a type of treadmill with inclined plates. This mechanism is important for lifting the water. The inclined plates allow the water to be lifted to a higher position. If it's a simple structure, the amount of water decreases as it reaches the height of the axis. Before this invention, water for higher fields was lifted using a bucket attached to a rope, requiring 2 people to operate it. The treadmill revolutionized farm work by allowing one person to do the job alone, greatly improving efficiency. Using the treadmill, a single worker could flood a rice field, 0.5 acres wide, and 1 foot deep, in about 3 hours. Extra weight helped them work faster, so it was not unusual to see them carrying their baby on their backs while they worked. Interested in stories like this? Click like to let us know. It will help us find more stories you will enjoy, and make the next video even better. This work depicts a landscape around a majestic pine tree in Ryuganji Temple in Edo City, with Mount Fuji in the background. The pine tree, known for its distinctive shape, was celebrated in other works of art, and the temple itself was recognized as one of the famous landmarks of Edo. The branches of the pine tree extend in all directions, forming a characteristic bulge at the center. However, the branches grow so long that they have to be reinforced to prevent them breaking, a common gardening technique in Japan. This method not only preserves the structure of the tree, but also ensures the aesthetic harmony of the landscape. Below the tree, a figure can be seen sweeping up fallen leaves, capturing a moment of everyday life. Meanwhile, at the bottom right, 3 people are enjoying a picnic on the hill. They have laid out lunch boxes, and one of them raises a bottle of sake. Next to them, another person appears, probably preparing to serve the group some warming sake. The shape of the pine tree mirrors the silhouette of Mount Fuji behind it, creating a visual dialogue between the 2 forms. In order to focus on these 2 symbolic entities, unnecessary elements between them are obscured by Yasurigasumi mist, which guides the eye. This is a hilly area known for its slopes, often celebrated in ukiyo-e prints. Stacks of rice are laid out to dry after the harvest. This work captures the tranquil charm of an autumn landscape with farmers and their families going about their daily activities. During the Edo period, the area was set aside as a hunting reserve for the shogun to practice falconry. In the center of the painting, falconers are talking, with falcons for the hunt on their arms. Different types of falcons were used depending on the environment and the prey, but the northern goshawk was particularly prized. Known for its compact flight, this bird excelled at catching prey even in the densely wooded areas so typical of Japan. Falconry was one of the favorite hobbies of Tokugawa Ieyasu, the first shogun of the Edo period. He was known for his obsession with health, even going so far as to compound his own medicines. For him, it was not only a relaxing pastime, but also a form of physical training, a practice that maintained his health and gave him a good appetite. In this work, the abundant waters of the Tama River dominate the composition, with Mount Fuji rising majestically beyond the mist. The exact location of the scene remains unclear. Only a man leading a horse and a small boat carrying firewood appear. In this work, Hokusai gives no indication of the exact location along the Tama River. This could be a message from Hokusai to concentrate on the art itself. The work demonstrates several printing techniques. In particular, the river is rendered using bokashi, a gradation technique that creates smooth transitions between colors. Bokashi is also used along the lines of the waves to create a flowing quality. Another special feature is the use of karazuri or blind printing in the foreground of the river. In this technique, the woodblock is pressed onto the paper without ink, leaving a subtly raised texture. The use of blind printing is rare, usually found only in the earliest print runs or those made under the close supervision of the artist. In later print runs, often without the artist's direct supervision, it is thought that blind printing was omitted in order to reduce production costs. This kind of cost management may reflect the reputation of merchants such as Ichigoya, introduced in the previous video. The version discussed in this video is a revitalized version from around 1930. However, an exceptionally well-preserved print, believed to be close to the first edition, is currently in the Sumida Hokusai Museum in Tokyo. If you wish to see it, please make sure that it is on display before visiting. This work shows a view of Mount Fuji from Shinagawa, the first postal station on the Tōkaidō highway. This place flourished as the gateway to Edo, welcoming travelers arriving from the west. In the foreground is a small hill representing Gotenyama, which once stood in this area. The 8th Edo shogun planted cherry trees there and made it a popular place to view the cherry blossoms each spring. His hometown is in Ki Province, famous for the cherry blossoms of Yoshinoyama. It is said that the cherry trees brought to Edo were propagated by grafting. The painting shows people enjoying the blossoms in full bloom, with the majestic Mount Fuji rising above the waters of Edo Bay in the background. The grain of the woodblock is visible in the waves of Edo Bay. This wave expression is a distinctive presentation that takes advantage of the fact that Ukiyo-e is a printed work. In the lower right corner, a man with a shaved head carries a wrapping cloth with the Eijudo family crest. This figure also appears in Zazai Hall at the Temple of the 500 Arhats, introduced in Part 1, suggesting that he may have been associated with the Eijudo publishing house. Interestingly, the view of Edo Bay from Gotenyama looks in the opposite direction from Mount Fuji, making this an impossible scene in reality. Like the Waterwheel, this scene is a work of artistic imagination. Hokusai prioritized visual composition and the perfection of the artwork over strict adherence to geographical accuracy, exemplifying his innovative approach to ukiyo-e. Clone blossom. The cherry, or sakura, is a deciduous tree in the Rosaceae family. It is native to the Himalayas, and fossils of Himalayan cherry trees dating back some 25,000 years have been found. Cherry trees flourish in temperate regions of the northern hemisphere. In Japan, the cherry is deeply embedded in the nation's culture and is one of its most iconic symbols, along with Mount Fuji. The tradition of blossom appreciation originally came to Japan from China, where it focused on plum and peach blossoms. Over time, the focus shifted to cherry blossoms, which suited Japan's climate and cultural aesthetics. Since then, many ornamental varieties have been bred. One of these, Somei Yoshino, is the most widely planted cherry tree in Japan and possibly the world. Somei Yoshino takes its name from Somei village in Tokyo, which was famous for its horticulture. The Ukiyo-e painter Hiroshige II even depicted it as a botanical garden. In the 19th century, the village gardeners popularized this cherry tree and spread it throughout Japan. This cherry tree is unique in that it does not grow new leaves when in bloom. The tree has spread by grafting, not by seedling, which means that all trees are genetically identical clones. Grafting is a horticultural technique in which the cut surfaces of two plants are joined to grow as one in order to improve quality or ensure seed conservation. This technique is not limited to cherry trees. Tomatoes, cucumbers, grapes, apples, and loka-kakas also benefit from grafting. Cherries are particularly sensitive to pruning, and improper pruning can damage the trees. For this reason, expert guidance is recommended when pruning their branches. The clonal nature of Somei Yoshino cherry trees has long been recognized by experts in the field. In 2017, this topic received renewed attention from the scientific community. Dr. Toshio Katsuki, an agricultural scientist, published an academic paper on the subject to clarify the origin of these clonal trees. He did so to counter a bout of misinformation, wherein an interview with him was misused to promote a theory that these trees originated elsewhere. DNA analysis has again confirmed that these trees are genetic clones derived from a hybrid of the Oshimazakura and Edo Higan varieties. Blooming period. Every spring in Japan, the weather forecast includes predictions for the cherry blossom season. The blooming period is short, and they all bloom at the same time. That's because the Somei Yoshino is the most propagated tree. There is almost no individual variation. Each tree blooms for about 2 weeks. These trees planted abroad, such as in Washington, D.C., and Vancouver, follow the same pattern because they share identical DNA with the trees in Japan. Somei Yoshino flowers at the same time, but the timing of flowering can vary from variety to variety. And even within the same variety, there is often a great deal of individual variation. In case you missed your chance, here are some varieties that bloom at different times than Somei Yoshino. Kanhizakura, commonly known as Taiwan cherry. Its distinctive red flowers, this variety blooms 1 to 3 months earlier than Somei Yoshino. Edo Higan. Many of the trees over 1,000 years old are Edo Higan. Despite the Edo in its name, it is a wild species, not an artificially improved variety. It blooms 1 to 2 weeks earlier than Somei Yoshino. Shidarezakura is a cultivar. These trees have soft, drooping branches. Their offspring do not always have the drooping characteristic. They have an eccentric appearance and bloom about 1 to 2 weeks later than Somei Yoshino. Yaezakura. This term refers to cherry trees with more than 5 petals, as opposed to the 5-petaled Somei Yoshino. Some varieties have over 100 petals, giving them a glamorous appearance. They bloom 1 to 2 weeks later than Somei Yoshino. Yamazakura. The wild cherry tree that dominated before the introduction of Somei Yoshino, Yamazakura offers a range of flower colors from white to pink. It blooms 1 to 2 weeks later than Somei Yoshino. Oyamazakura. As the name suggests, Oyamazakura has larger flowers than Yamazakura. This variety blooms a month later than Somei Yoshino. Currently, our videos might be getting caught in the algorithm, marked as inappropriate or unrecommendable. If you found this video even a bit interesting, please give it a like. Your support makes all the difference. Thank you for sticking with us.